we want roster. Oh, let's go try this one. I think this was the choice. So this is what we're going to do here today, guys. We are going to do an NFL mock draft here today. This is going to be rounds 1 through 3. That looks alright. In reality, it's going to be a tough thing to do, as I don't want this roster. There's only 5. There's more than 5 quarterbacks, so we can't use this roster. I gotta find the right roster here. I don't remember which one I chose. But we're gonna do a 3-round mock draft. Let's see. What about this roster? I think it's the roster I was working on. I think I just looked at that roster. Where... Huh. That's weird. It was supposed to be a 2017 draft, but where... Continue... That's not the roster I want. That's just fucked up. So we gotta use the same roster we used the other day. Madden 2018 roster here. So, real simple. We're going to do a NFL mock draft. First 3 rounds. I think it's the easiest thing to do. We can't do all 7 rounds because that seems like it's a real difficult thing to do. I have prospects on screen, got the draft order on one screen. Yeah. I wonder if this roster still got the Panthers $94 million in the hole. That's the Patriots. $809. How? I don't... Alright. I am really confused about that one. But... because Adrian Pearson's gone, that's why. Romo's still there. But... Even Chad... I didn't realize that Chad Kelly is 76 overall. They don't have him... They have him projected as a 6th, 7th round pick. And you're giving him... Alright. So... I guess we'll get going here. So I did my mock draft of the first round, and I didn't really like that. There's so much now controversy that came out that he's going to the Raiders. We gotta give him to the Raiders. Boom, he's gone. Marshawn went to the Raiders. 2 years. He's not 24 though. He's 31. can't change the age. Okay. So here we go. We'll go ahead and get on to the mock draft. Just gonna find where. Perfect. So we're gonna try to do all 32 pick. We're trying to get to all 32 teams here with all of the um projected picks here, and that's gonna be tough because you gotta have like 20 screens open at a time for it. Probably the tough. I think most scouts get ready to do their decide a pick here. Um, get ready to determine, like, get to their war room probably around noon, lay out their um floor plans and everything. Like, this is a prospect we want to target. This is a prospect that they want. Possible trade situations that could happen. Um, but this real first pick here for the Cleveland Browns, who will be going on the clock, number one overall in a roughly 24, 31 hours from now, to decide the probably easiest pick in this year's draft. But yet they're going to be pondering it because they also need a quarterback. Um, I think this is going to be difficult for the Browns to decide on who they want in reality. Because it's really the easiest pick in all the draft. You gotta think of it. It's the number one overall. He's consensus number one overall player. Some player, a former player, Warren Sapp, said he's just lazy and he'll go out there and make a couple tackles here and there. But Myles Garrett is the consensus number one overall pick. But when it comes in a situation with the Browns have to think about it. They have no quarterback really on the roster. Let's go ahead and take a look at their quarterback situation. The Cleveland Browns quarterbacks: Brock Osweiler, Corey Kessler, and Kevin Hogan are quarterbacks on the roster. But they got two first-round picks, one at 12, one at 1, and one at 12. And if you gotta think, the rest of the offense, you got receivers here, depending on what Josh Gordon's going through, if he's reinstated or not. You can address receiver later on the draft. You could possibly address tight end at some point in the draft. Offensive line, you got hope there. Right tackle might be position, and then you're gonna go ahead and go to the defense here. And I think they should really think of just upgrading this left end position. Emmanuel Ogba, I think, is going to become a great young talent here. And every other position here is not really needing to be worried about for the Browns. So it's really a simple pick. Quarterback you can address on later in the round, but he's not going to be a right away starter. If you go ahead and take a look at the quarterbacks that are in this year's draft, let me do that here. The number one consensus quarterback here, according to CBSSports.com, is Mitchell Trubisky. But I don't think there's a single quarterback in this year's draft that is worthy of going a quarterback. But if they don't go quarterback here, it's gotta be Myles Garrett because it's the easiest pick ever. If you don't take Myles Garrett here, number one, you're missing out on a true number one talent. Some experts say, and this is Warren Sapp saying, he's not worth the number one overall pick. He's lazy. I mean, it's easy. It's number one overall pick right here. Miles Garrett. I'm going to go ahead and make that selection, get him off that board. He's gone to the Browns. He's off the board. I mean, you got Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Watson. I think those two are both first-round talent. And no doubt about it, they're first-round talent. But they're not top 5 talent to me. If a team's going to do some reaching, it's going to be... It's not worth doing the reaching right away. I mean, the top 2 teams need a quarterback. They also need linebacker help. But there is also no linebacker I would take in the top 2 right away. I mean, I wish to just simplify linebackers here as just one category and put them. But this is all according to CBS. Hassan Reddick is the only one I could see going in the top 10 as a great player at Temple. But we're now on to the 49ers pick, and let's go ahead and take a look at their roster here. We're going to do this with the top 5 picks. So the 49ers, they have needs all over the place. They brought in 2 quarterbacks. They got Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley here. That's what got Blaine Gabbert and Christian Ponder. Running back, I think they're set out here with Carlos Hyde and Tim Hightower as a backup. Fullback, they're set. They don't need to worry about that. Receiver, I would bring someone in the second, third round here to help with the receiving core. I mean, you got speed. You got a guy who's unproven. You got a guy who has some proven. He's the leader on the squad. Tight end, another thing I would look on addressing later on. And then the offensive line. You got some guys that are aging here on the offensive line. 2 spots that are under 28 years old. It's very difficult. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the defensive line here. Many people believe that they should take defense and Solomon Thomas here. Let's go ahead, as he's the number 2 consensus overall pick. I don't think they should worry about that. They got great young defensive ends here in Buckner and Armstead. They should worry about the defensive tackle position here. And if that doesn't tell you my pick here, it will certainly help you here with my pick. And then, Giants crap. And then outside linebacker, there's no one right away I'd worry about. I muted it. So, it's really of what do you think your need is here. If you want to get Solomon Thomas, then try to move someone to a linebacker. It's a tough thing to do here. So we'll go ahead and go with the number 2 overall pick in my book for the 49ers should be Jonathan Allen, Alabama. The 49ers would be dumb not to get some defensive line help. You got 2 great pass rushers on the outside on your defensive line. You have no one to impact the middle. So I would go ahead and go Jonathan Allen, who is ranked number 4 on the CBS top NFL prospects here, and this is from a couple of days ago. But he's probably a smart choice to go with here. Which now would bring us to the Chicago Bears. They need corner, safety, and offensive linemen. I think that's offensive line. Yeah, that's offensive lineman. Oh. This pick's kind of tough to make because I hate the Bears. As a Packer fan myself. So, their quarterback is Mike Glennon. To me, he has the tangibles to be considered a starter. I wouldn't be worried about him here right away. Their running backs, I think they're set on. They got 3, 4 if they really want to consider them. All young running backs to um, do the job. Wide receiver, Cameron Meredith, Kendall Wright, Eddie Royal. They got Marcus Wheaton. I'm not sure on how 100% these rosters are, but they're from ESPN, according to the guy I downloaded from. Zach Miller. They could worry about offensive lineman weak draft, and it's very difficult to get a offensive lineman here. They need tackles, really. Defensive line, they could go Solomon Thomas and pull him at right end. Linebackers are set on. I mean, they're set on linebacker. And then get to corner, you got 2 guys here, Prince Mukamara, Kyle Fuller. You got Bryce Callahan, sorry. And you get to safety. I mean, if you want to address a safety spot, I'd go strong safety. So that, I think, would be my pick for him. We'll go ahead and address the safety spot for him. It's either that or take Solomon Thomas here. He's dropped to 3. You put him at right end. And I gotta get to the Bears. I don't want him signed to the Packers. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the corners here. Marshawn Lattimore, he's number 5. Or you go with Jamal Adams here. In reality, there's 3 picks I can go with. And that's if Jonathan Allen is off the board. If Jonathan Allen does not go number 2 overall, I think, and Solomon Thomas does, it makes your pick so much easier. We'll just say that. So, the next team that could use a defensive line help this is a simple pick. We're going to go Solomon Thomas to the Bears. Stanford. Which now puts the Jaguars on the clock. I mean, you're addressing a need here at right end for the Bears. So, we'll go ahead and move him to right end, even though he'll probably play left. And he'd already be off the board. So now take a look here at their defensive line. They got Akeem Hicks, Solomon Thomas, Eddie Goldman. It depends on, I don't know what system they run. But now we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are picking number 4. And let's look at him here. Blake Bortles is a quarterback. I think you give him one more season and he doesn't produce like you want him to produce, you look at a quarterback again. He had one great season. Last season, $35 and $18. The interceptions are kind of high, but then you got the hopes up for him. But he didn't produce that this year. Running back, I think you're set on, but you could use someone like Leonard Fournette here. Fullback, wide receivers, you get 3 wide receivers here that are perfectly fine. A 4th one, slow development, but I mean, you guys have Justin Blackman still on this roster. I'm pretty sure he's out of the NFL for life. Tight end is a position that they need, and that's a position they should be looking at. I can't say they should go tight end here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the offensive line here. They need a left tackle. a right guard. And then let's look at the defensive line. They got Dante Fowler Jr. If he stays healthy, he could be good. Calais Campbell and then Malik Jackson. Their defensive line's set, so I don't know why they would be worried about a defensive lineman here at 4. Linebackers, you could use a middle linebacker maybe. Um, Surely for that. And your corners are great. AJ Boye, Jalen Ramsey, and Aaron Colvin. Ah, boy. That would be a great young corner situation to have. And then safeties are okay. So there's 2 picks I could see him growing with. I need to take a look at her safety spot again. They have. I really wish this one safety would fall. They're okay with that. They're not going to go Jabril Peppers here. I could see him going Jamal Adams, but he's a strong safety. Or they should be going O.J. Howard. Or they can bring in another corner and have 4 solid corners. Or they can go Leonard Fournette. There's so much choice for them to go with here at 4. I mean, this is the first